So welcome back to the MotoGeo podcast, and today we're going to be going over the wrist injury that I'm suffering from, which is called the scaphoid. Now the scaphoid is located at the bottom of your thumb and end of the radius bone, just as your hand starts. There's a bone there, kind of the shape of a kidney bean, and it's in this what they call the snuff box area, which is right here at the base of your thumb. Now in there's a little bone called the scaphoid, and it's causing me endless amounts of problems. And the reason for that is it's a really crucial bone for you to work your thumb. And when it's a fracture, and a non-union fracture, which mine is, which is quite displaced, you get a lot of pain from compression inside your forefinger and your thumb, which is right where the throttle is. And then when you're braking or going over bumps or wrestling the bike for whatever reason, I get a lot of pain and a jolt up my wrist. Then also I've got a lot less grip strength. That's also a problem when I'm riding these big adventure bikes or you're going off-road. Riding a motorcycle is probably the worst thing that I could do. I'm struggling to do other things, which is just like any household chores, working on my motorcycle, playing with my kid, all of those kinds of things. I've got to be really careful. My thumb is just causing me so many problems. So there is some treatments that can be done, but because mine happened such a long time ago, in fact, it happened with my crash with Barry Wise over 5 years ago. I collided into the back of a car and smashed my left hand pretty badly. I'd broken my wrist before, and I knew it was going to take some time before it felt good again. But the problem is, it's just never felt good. And I knew really when I went on a couple adventures and I lost a lot of grip strength in my hand, and one of them was the 12 peaks on the Ducati Desert X. I felt during that adventure that there was definitely something wrong with my left wrist. And then just after that, I went to Albania for the GS Trophy and pretty much confirmed all of the problems that I was having when I was wrestling another big adventure bike, and my wrist was just aching and aching and aching. Well, then after that, I went for an MRI scan, which showed up a non-union fracture, which means a displaced fracture of that bone. But because it's been so long, it's then caused other problems. It's already worn down some of the cartilage. I'm already suffering from the mild starts of arthritis. So to combat all of that, there's two procedures which can be done. One is to remove the bone, and then with that, two others in your wrist. I don't really want to go down that avenue unless I have to really go down that. I would like to try to save the scaphoid. So what we're going to try to do, or the surgeon is going to try to do, is put, first of all, open my hand, get to the scaphoid, clean out the scaphoid because it's apparently grown some cysts on it. Then after that, it's got to be realigned. They do this through a fixation screw, so they'll drill a hole through both bones because mine is broken in the middle. So they'll put a fixation screw through the top and the bottom of the bone, and then to try to help this bone growth, they're going to then give me a bone graft, which they'll then take from my radius, my healthy radius bone, and they'll take some bone marrow out of that and put it into my scaphoid, pack it through, and then that'll hopefully help with the bone regeneration and also with the healing process. Now, it's also a real long drawn-out affair is the scaphoid bone because it's actually the longest bone on the body to heal. And that's because you've got a very poor blood supply to the bone. Most bones in your body have blood supply in two ways, top and bottom, but the scaphoid, it only comes in from the top, and then it's almost like peters out and gets less and less as it goes down through the bone and ends up really a dead end at the bottom. If the scaphoid is broken anywhere from halfway, it gets really bad blood supply in the lower half, which then really takes a lot of time for the bone to regenerate, and it's a really long process. Also, it's not the most painful bone as well. It feels more like a badly sprained wrist most of the time, and because of that, you can still get away with really just using your hand most of the time, and that's what I've been doing. I just thought it was a badly broken wrist that was recovering, and it got to a certain point where I kind of just got used to it being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. So what we're going to do is try to fix the scaphoid. I've got a surgeon who's done many hand treatments before. And what she's going to do is open up my hand, put a fixation screw in, realign everything, pack it full of healthy bone marrow. And then from that point on, it's just going to be hopefully a case of a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, some exercise, but not too much. I've got to be very careful not to jolt my hand or my thumb. And then just really from that point, just time. It goes about 3 weeks before I'll be changing from one cast to another. And then at that point, really, it's just a case of monitoring it probably about every 3 months. It's a really long healing process. I'm likely to be off a motorcycle for at least 6 months, possibly even a year. And if it doesn't heal, it's going to be longer because I'm going to have to go back in, have more surgery and more complications, no doubt. So as far as riding a motorcycle, I can't do that. So we're going to get some new reviewers to do motorcycle reviews. I'm going to leave it down to you guys and girls to tell me all about your adventures, and hopefully we can get you on the channel, give you some goodies for your troubles. Tell us about your bikes, tell us about your travels, tell us about where you are, what you're doing. Tell us about your hometown. You don't actually need to be going anywhere. There's people all around the world. You know your own backyard like the back of your hand. So tell us about your own backyard and we could be featuring you on the channel. So get in touch, hit the comments, tell us all about you, and we look forward to it. So I'm going to go under the knife. I'm going to get this taken care of, and I'll speak to you soon.